Hey everyone, this is Mick. I wanted to come on here today to give an over 1 year update from the Whatever podcast. I've been on the Whatever podcast. I've been on some of the most viewed episodes of the Whatever podcast, and for good reason. I was with Keely Rose, who was a porn star, a prostitute, a sugar baby, and I wanted to tell a little bit why that is, update on how that all happened, why I stayed with her, and how we met in the first place, and what I've been up to in my life since then. Today I'm here in beautiful Sedona, Arizona, staying at this house. I'm pet sitting right now at this house. I love pets. I've been doing that a lot since she left, actually, because it keeps me good company and I get to stay in some beautiful areas. Luca, come here. This is my dog, Luca, and unlike Keely, he's very loyal and he sticks with me. And that's the one thing you can appreciate about a great dog, is that they'll be there for you when humans aren't. So what I basically wanted to say is that I learned a lot from coming on the podcast, and I'm glad I came on the podcast and spilled my beans and let out my dirty laundry to the world. It's embarrassing a bit. It is embarrassing, and there is that nervousness that you get in the podcast. It's very difficult to sit there for hours and hours and hours and talk about these very sensitive subjects. It made me nervous. I have a bit of anxiety there, and but you get through it. And I did it for the fact that I think it's an experience, and it's good to face your fears that you might have. And I faced my fears by coming on there and talking about these things very openly. One of the things that I learned, I think, particularly from coming on the podcast, is why our relationship ended and why you shouldn't be with someone like Keely, who I didn't mention on the podcast. Her real name was Haley. I know her as Haley. The world knows her as Keely. That was given to her by the producers for the name. We were essentially homeless, living out of a car, struggling to death, and she was working a job, I was working a job, and we just weren't making enough money. And so she went into stripping, and it was just a non-nude club at first. The stripping turned into stripping at full nudes to make more money. The money was good. It was good coming in. We liked it. I don't deny that I didn't benefit from it. The money, not only that we were making, was coming in, but then COVID happened. And it was a terrible thing that COVID happened, because it led her down the porn star lifestyle and doing that work. And she hated it. She did. Truly hated it. I hated her doing it. And then she quit that and started just being a sugar baby to rich guys, stripping, doing all sorts of various things here and there. It was not the lifestyle I wanted. I am a very relaxed person. I like no drama, no sex work, none of this stuff. I'm a humble person. I don't like the clubs. I don't drink. I don't hang out and party. I don't like that type of women. When I met her, she was an innocent girl who was working at Subway, and she was just this beautiful person who I thought was sweet and innocent. What I knew at the time is that she had slept with 6 men. At the time, I didn't think it was that much. It was more women than I had been with. But it was something that I was okay with, because I was 21, I believe, and I was willing to date anyone. date any cute girl that would talk to me, anyone that would give me a look, anyone that would just say my name, you know? And she showed that she really loved me. She showed that she cared. Our first 3 years together were really good. We were together for 6. And it was really good. We did travel the world together. We went through struggles that I never went through with any other human being. And she was there for me when other humans weren't. And that's what's the saddest part. The year of our breakup, you know, of just not being with her was the hardest year I've ever had to deal with in my life. Being alone, isolated, the male loneliness, not feeling loved or like you're going to be loved again. It was like going through withdrawal. Heartbreak is like going through drug withdrawal, and it hurt. And I'm sad that things ended on such a bad note. I truly loved her, and I truly loved being with her, despite all her flaws. I still think she is a malignant narcissist. There's not much that could have been done to fix that. I tried to work with her, but like a rubber band, it snaps back into place. A narcissist doesn't have empathy. Haley doesn't have empathy. She can't feel what normal people feel. And in that sense, I feel bad for her. She can never truly love herself, therefore can't truly love another. She's with this other guy now, Scott, in Australia. She's had a baby with him. They got drunk one night and had a mistake baby that she decided to keep and have a baby with him. Despite all the years together, we never had a kid. We were always traveling, always struggling. This guy, he has a house, you know, from his family that he can live in, and he decided, I guess, to finally man up now that he's having a baby with her. I don't hate him, but he did take her from me. And I think, sort of like I was listening to some podcasts recently about Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue and these type of women, and if you can't hate them, you know? These type of women have always been around, sexually promiscuous women that just put themselves out to any guy. But you can't make them a housewife. You can't make them a wife. You can't expect commitment. So when they cheat on you, when they leave you, you can't be surprised. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised that someone who cheated on me many times, even not for finances, not for money. She cheated on me in the sense that she went and met up with these guys, this guy named Jeremy. And later on, about 6 months ago, I found on my computer, which I had a bunch of photos from her, I found video of her cheating on me with him. And she never videotaped us being together intimately. She never, you know, did these things with me that she did with him. I always feel like I was comfort for her. When we met, she wanted out of Las Vegas. She wanted away from her father's house. I was her ticket away. And I was single, and I had never had a girlfriend in high school, in college, or any of that. So I was happy to just have a cute girl who would give me attention. And she was happy that she could finally leave and go to Los Angeles with me. We could go be together. And I was comfort. And even she admitted to me months later that she didn't necessarily find him as attractive as me. She didn't necessarily find him to be as connection. We had a connection that she doesn't feel with him. That, you know, my arms feel more comfortable to her than what this guy's does. But yet, he was more fun. They maybe had more in common. The club and party life, drinking, their music taste, whatever. They have these similarities. And I'm just this guy that's, you know, into very different things. I'm old school. And I think he gave her the life she wanted. He gave her the house that I couldn't provide. He gave her a kid. He gave her a husky puppy, which I got a Maltipoo. She didn't want a Maltipoo. She wanted a husky. That was one of the big things she would always hound about, that I got the wrong dog. He gave her the life I never could. And I think that that's understandable. But when you commit to someone, you commit to them. And I asked for something from a woman that can never truly commit. I committed to her. I went to her mother's funeral. I went to her father's wedding. I took her around the world. We traveled. I gave her love. I gave her everything she wanted, and it was never good enough. A narcissist, it's never good enough. And it'll never be good enough even that this guy gave her what she wanted. I think she'll stay together for the kid and for the comfort. But that's what all I was comfort. She never loved herself. She always had anxiety about going outside, always not receiving enough attention. If I just looked and glanced at another girl, that was too much. So, what did I learn from the Whatever podcast? I learned about commitment. You can't expect commitment from this type of woman. I've had girls that I've dated so far recently, and any red flags I saw, I just ended it. I've become more savvy. I would say I'm not a dating expert, but after listening to a lot of stuff, thinking and contemplating, I've kind of meticulously thought of it, where it's like any little thing that could be seen as a red flag, end it. Don't even waste your time, because you're going to develop a connection. Because I'm just a guy that has nothing but love to give, and treat the woman the best I can. I've worked on myself so hard since then. I hit the gym hard after the breakup to work on myself. It's great therapy hitting the gym. It's been great therapy working on self-discipline, working on my finances, working on just traveling and experiencing the world more, working on my mental state, my confidence as a man, to be a man and not be afraid to say what's on your mind, to say that no means no, and you don't have to put up with this type of behavior from a woman. Instead, before, I just let her get away with everything. I've decided that I really should say no. I should be confident enough to be with the right person. I had one girl that I almost fell for again, and she broke my heart again. You know, we were only in the talking stages a little bit, went on one date, but even then, it ended. And I should have seen those red flags, and I ignored them because I wanted to find love. And that's just the type of man I am. People have said, try to be single. I want that one person in my life. I don't want to sleep around. I don't want to do any of this. I'm not even religious at all, by any means. I just want commitment and love from one person for the rest of my life that I can grow old with and raise a family with. I think that's the true meaning of life. I think that's what we are here for. To survive, thrive, raise a family, and then die. And that's okay. That's an okay life. It's not a bad thing. So Brian, I think, helped me in a lot of ways, where he tried to convince me not to date sex workers before, and I learned that I really shouldn't, because you're not going to get commitment from them. And if any girl immediately asks you, hey, can I go be a stripper or anything like that, instant relationship ends. It should. I did benefit financially. I owe her a great deal of gratitude to having a travel partner, to being a lot of firsts for me. My first love, my first time doing lots of things, and together with a woman. I have been mostly ignored by women my whole life, and I don't think I'm a bad guy. I'm sort of average, but I've got some things that are great about me, and I am glad that I have those qualities, and I'm hoping a woman will find those qualities attractive and will like me and accept me for who I am and my flaws, and I'll accept her flaws. It's been very difficult to find a woman without too much baggage around my own age that I can talk to. I definitely think the passport bros have a point, and traveling overseas is the best way to date, particularly Southeast Asia. I just haven't been able to afford it. I've been doing all sorts of jobs since then. I've had plenty of work. I'm not struggling financially, but it is expensive to go overseas and not work for a while. Been looking into working remotely, but I'm not very good with digital stuff. If you saw my episode that I was on more recently on the Whatever podcast, I did struggle a little bit with working on the the computers and stuff. I'm not the best with that. I'm good with analog technology, but not necessarily digital. And so I do need to keep working on myself and keep learning from my experiences and keep improving myself. I'm doing so well, I think, all things considered. The place in North Carolina, I did end up not getting because of the storm that was there. That was one of the things I mentioned on the podcast. I do have a place in Arizona. I think I'm going to sell it and get a place somewhere else that's not the desert. I am working so hard on myself, and I'm going to continue to improve. And I think that just for me right now, the biggest issue is loneliness, and wishing that I did have that female companionship that I had with her, where it wasn't just a relationship, it was your best friend that you could always have there. And I lost my best friend. I lost the love of my life. I shouldn't have given someone like her my heart to begin with, but I did. And that never goes away for someone who truly cares. I think for her, I'm an afterthought. She doesn't think about me every day. She doesn't wonder about me. She blocked me anyway. The only way I know a little bit about what's going on is because her father tells me. And if she watches this video, I would like her to know that I still care about her, and that I will never forget our time together, and that it does matter to me. It was special and important. You know, I am a man who has it in his capacity to really truly care. And I just want to leave you all with that. I am a caring and loving and compassionate person. And I'm glad that things ended, and I'm glad things begun. And I've become stronger because of it. But next time it's gonna go the right way. And that I have learned my lessons. And they are gonna go the right way. And I hope that, I'm almost 30 now, that I do meet the right woman, and that it does come for me in the end as a happy ending. She is not a bad person. She just can't help who she is. She can't help that she's a narcissist, and I'm very sad that things ended the way they did, but they ended, and I have to move on and be strong. And every day is a new day, and you never know when something will happen that changes everything for me, just like meeting her changed everything for me. And I hope she's well, and I hope she's happy. And that's all I truly wanted for her. And I think this whole notion that the Whatever podcast is racist or sexist or bigoted or any issues, sometimes it can get controversial. I understand that. But what Brian is doing is helping young men who might feel alone or might struggle in relationships, and they're looking for an answer. And that answer is what I found. He brought up things that made me change my mind. And he has been very nice to me. And so I would like people to give him a chance. Give the podcast a chance. There are clips where it's just funny, where it's just entertainment. But underlying, if he helps some men learn about dating and learns to not make my mistakes or have their heart broken, or how to become a better man to attract better women, well then, is that really so bad? So I hope if you got this far that you've at least been somewhat educated and you've learned something, and I'm glad I could give an update at least to the fans of the podcast about my experience on there and my experience as of lately and what I've been up to. And I know that people somehow became fans of me, and it's cool to be recognized on the street sometimes, and people say, hey, you've been on whatever, right? And I'm like, yeah, and they end up being really cool about it and stuff. And it's just nice to see that there's so many people that care, and I'm not alone, and that things could have ended much worse for me, as they have for many other men. And I don't seek self-pity. I don't seek any sympathy from others. I just wanted to tell my story and get it off my chest. So I hope this helps, and thank you, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.